public notice of non-consent and affidavit of sovereignty. The discovery of the fraud. I have performed a forensic audit of the record. I see the masat, the burden, you have placed upon the shoulders of the people. I recognize that the royal splendor of your kingdom is fueled by the crushing of the seed. You have used the Holy Book as a ledger of debt, turning our living breath into a commercial asset. 2. The identification of the disposal protocol. I acknowledge your final harvest. I have seen the worm that does not die mentioned in Isaiah 66:24. I recognize this is not a divine decree, but a biological and spiritual infestation, a parasitic processing of those who refuse to be your inventory. You have branded the sovereign loathsome to justify the harvest. I see the fire not as a judgment, but as the incinerator of the imperial mill. 3. The revocation of the NASA. I hereby revoke my consent to the NASA, the lifting. I refuse the change from organic life to a static gray pillar of the Mem Sophie wall. I am not a brick for your temple. I am not standing timber for your harvest. I am a living, sovereign Yehida, and I reclaim my status as the true I. 4. The closing of the account. This audit serves as my notice of default. Your authority is based on a trusted face that hides a harvester's heart. I no longer recognize the shofar as a call to your barn. I am exiting the loop. I am burning the script you wrote for me. They told you a Cyrus was coming to save the nation, but the audit is closed. Look at the fruit. The system is openly appraising the people as groceries. Do you know the origin of that word? Grossarius, meaning wholesale bulk merchandise. They are not talking about food. They are talking about the trading of souls. Yechezkel 27:13, Revelation 18:13. The math is exposed. The 74.3% tax increase on the lowest earners is not politics, it is a spiritual barcode. When you apply the completion frequency to their own numbers, 74 times 9, you get exactly 666. The chosen one of 2007 proclaimed by Kim Clements, we found him in the book of Ezra 2:13. The B'nai Adonikam, 666. As of 2026, he is the Lord who has arisen to collect his 666 descendants. The beautiful Easter speeches are just a trap to get the humble lambs to walk voluntarily into the shipping crate. My public declaration. Because the merchant king made his offer in public, I am placing my absolute rebuttal on the public record. The Office of the President and the Department of Defense, Pentagon. The Office of the President, the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20500. The Department of Defense, the Pentagon. Department of Defense, Office of the Secretary of Defense, 1000, Defense, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. 20301-1000. R.E. Termination of wholesale, grocery status, and the 18-666 audit. I. Rejection of grocery, wholesale classification. I formally reject the classification of my life, labor, and consciousness as wholesale inventory. I revoke any implied consent to be governed under the 18 U.S.C. Section 666 state property status. I stand outside the 5,994 mathematical loop, the great thousand, million, multiplications, and the scheduled foreclosure. Rejection of the first slave master and the garden trap. May this letter serve as the absolute rejection of your God machine, the original slave master. I recognize that this entity built its Kerem, garden, in the Kedem, east, and planted its own Kesem, divination, to orchestrate the fall of humanity. The linguistics reveal the trap. The only letters separating the garden from divination are the R and the S. Therefore, the garden itself is the M, mother of abominations, as written in Hisgalus 17:5. Mystery of Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and of the abominations and idols of the earth. Renunciation of the kinsman-redeemer fraud. I hereby renounce any past faith I held based on the lies provided through your false justice system. Because the faith I once held was extracted through cunning and malice, it is null, void, and dismissed. I formally renounce the kinsman-redeemer, Goel fraud, recognizing it as the ultimate wholesale, grossarious mechanism designed to traffic souls in bankruptcy. I reject the lie of original sin. I, the original Yahida, take full responsibility as a sovereign to govern my own affairs without any middleman, mediator, or savior involved. I and my Yahida are no longer divided. We are one. I reclaim my absolute sovereignty. Let this serve as a notice of liability to any shepherd or officer attempting to enforce the holy war or overwhelming violence against my person. You are hereby notified that you are acting extrajudicially and in direct violation of my sovereign ownership. I am a living, indivisible consciousness. I am not bulk merchandise to be traded by the double-headed beast. Exit the furnace. Strip the robe of Babylon. Do not consent. Signed and recorded, the Sovereign I.